Welcome to Salento With Love. I'm Davide, and something happened. I got old and fat and American. But hold on a second.
Oh, welcome to Salento, the real Salento With Love. I'm Davide Mengoli, and here I am with the Notary and Stephen.
Welcome to Casa Stefano. This is my story of buying a house in Italy, sight unseen, during the pandemic, and the adventure of renovating the house and exploring the Salento in southern Puglia.
Buonasera, good afternoon. This is just a test. Let me see if I can join Monica to the call. I should be able to do that. Yeah, very well, very well. So it's been being Friday, I kind of think thank God it's Friday. Because it's been a really heavy week. There we are. We have. Oh, you're in the car. You're off already.
Welcome to another collaboration with Salento With Love. This was recorded back in January of 2022, which is why everyone still has jackets and masks on. So we thought it would be interesting to show the actual process of closing the sale for those of you who purchased a house remotely or are still considering a purchase. There's nothing really complicated about it. If you're from the US, it is very similar to a typical property closing. In Italy, the Notaio, or Notary, functions much like the title company. They manage the escrow accounts for the transfer of funds, conduct the due diligence on the property, and they prepare the new deed. Today, the buyers have purchased a property in Galatone, my town. So we are neighbors. I had the privilege of getting a look at their new house just around the corner from mine, and it is amazing. So can you describe really quick just the sequence of events that sort of happens here?
The sequence now that they're all looking for a socket. That's the first.
Yeah.
But otherwise the phone is going to go flat. But the sequence is that the notary is going to read the title deed of the property,
Right.
and through the process it will make sure that everything is correct, that there are no errors, that the vendor is happy with it, that me as a power of attorney am happy with the details. Bank details get checked where the money are going to get transferred, so the vendor needs to check his IBAN number. So once the title deed is all read and any little adjustments is made, then at that stage the notary will print the official title deed, and then we'll move forward to the signing.
And when do you bring the buyer into the, like when do you start your call with the buyer?
I normally call the buyer when we get to the signatures, otherwise we'll be
Right.
now, for example, all this stuff. There is
45 minutes
there's
of
always
just,
a little
yeah.
bit of something happening at any
Sure.
time. This time we're looking for a socket because the phone is going flat and he can't make his bank payment. So it's quite nice. This is Simone from Tecnico Casa in Nardo. It's very rare that you get the realtor agent that comes and supports the vendor, and normally the vendor comes alone, but
Really?
in this particular case it's nice that the realtor is actually here supporting the vendor.
So while the Notaio reads out the deed, I thought I would share some opinions from my own experience when purchasing a property in Italy. So a couple of things. Number one, work with someone who will represent your interests. Real estate agents in Italy don't necessarily have the same legal or ethical responsibilities they may have in other countries. You can hire anyone to represent you when purchasing a property, including a realtor, but it's still very much a buyer beware situation. You heard Davide introduce the seller's agent, and pointing out that it was kind of unusual for the agent to even bother showing up. So you need someone who really understands the location, the process, and has the experience. Like the buyer today, I chose to work with Salento With Love. Clearly, Davide has advised the client today through the whole process, negotiated the purchase, and he's here today as the power of attorney. Second thing is make sure that due diligence is conducted. And I know this is like a no-brainer, but I had my property inspected by a geometra, and it's worth the cost to make sure you understand any and all issues that may exist before you buy a property. And this is especially true if you're buying a property that is in some state of neglect. Also, deeds and ownership can be complicated. So always use a notaio. And in the case of my house, for example, it was not written on the existing deed that the roof terrace actually belonged to the house. The notaio had to do some research and find a deed from like 100 years ago so that the current deed could be updated. And the seller had to have this corrected before I could take ownership. And it all came together though because I had people looking after my interests.
So the notary's just finished reading the whole title deed. A few adjustments had to be made. It's quite important really because whatever the notary puts into the title deed, a lot of it is what the previous title deed had contained, which is called atto di provenienza, which is one of the things that the notary will use to create the new title deed. But it's important to make sure that any other little adjustments are actually made. Wherever it's written on the title deed, it's what would stay for the owners of the property. So once that is done, now it's just gone into the other room, it will print it onto the proper paper, it will have the registry number, the registrar, and then we'll come back out for signing. Hi, buonasera, let me just bring my on.
Buonasera.
Let me just bring. I'm ready.
Aspetta, fatto. Cheese! A me cheese, dai, sì. Sì, sì.
I think to date I'm probably the one that has signed most of the title deeds in Salento. Vero Notaio? So now we need the notary to sign it. And also, I always do it with my pen, which has been my companion for the last 20 years.
Questo è il numero, guarda, ne vuoi far vedere?
So the number of the registrar is,
This is the-
that's the floor plan,
Yeah, the deposit.
the storage.
Storage, scusa. Questa è la procura che hanno firmato loro.
That's the power of attorney that you've signed, that we have received back. You're drinking beer, what are you drinking? Oh, okay.
Sembrava Coca-Cola.
So the notary thought you were drinking beer. That's later.
Che ore sono lì?
What time is there now? It's what, 8 o'clock?
In the morning?
Oh, sì, non qua.
Beh, no, la birra no.
No,
Direi neanche
non
no.
beer.
Anche ora sei.
Dopo. So the number of your title is 7934. I don't know if you're into numbers. And 5394. So that's what's going to sit and the title deed in the Italian registrar. Notaio?
Perfect. Vai, congratulations.
So this is Mauro Peretti selling the house. Wait, I'll come around the corner, so I'll come around. Mauro, this is Mauro selling.
Ciao.
He's done a fantastic job with your property. Fatto un lavoro fantastico. Beautiful.
Bancario, collegare bancario.
Però ha fatto...
Ciao.
Bel lavoro.
Grazie a voi, sapete i ringraziamenti.
Can we take a picture all together? Ci fai una foto tutti quanti insieme?
Sì.
Allora, we'll take a group photo and I'll just have the camera with you in it. Let's see if I can.
Orizzontale?
Eh?
L'orizzontale va bene?
No, fammela pure in verticale.
Ok. Fermi tutti, Perfect.
A posto. Fantastic. Amazing. All right. Stay well. I'll talk to you. Grazie. Ciao. Talk to you later. What else do you want me to say? You know, I'm not very good. I can't say very much.